What's going on, journalist family? Irvin Felix John with the Fitness Journals, where I provide education, entertainment, and authenticity to the calisthenics game, being fat. Now, this is a topic that obviously a lot of people, especially in this day and time, cancel culture, Me Too, well, Me Too's kind of before, but you know what I mean, like this culture of don't say that, what's wrong with you? But we're going to talk about it because I think it's important, especially in the context of which we're speaking about it. Now, why am I talking about this right now? Because I'm scrolling down Twitter, and you know Twitter, there's no hold back on Twitter. People just talk, right? So I came across this this tweet from Daily Loud, and it says this plus size model is making roughly $45,000 a month off her curves, but trolls continue to body shame her because of her 55-inch butt. Now, I'm not sure if they really, trolling her because of her thick, her big butt. Sorry, we're gonna stay politically correct here, because of her butt. But let's really talk about fat shaming for real. This is not a funny video. This is not like I'm not joining the troll train and things like that. I really want to talk about this for real, like objectively speaking. What is fat? Let's get to the root of it. Firstly, what is it to be fat? Now, off of like my spin of the official definition, fat is in my opinion is being at a certain body fat percentage, having a certain amount of visceral and subcutaneous fat mass that begins to compromise your state of health. Right, that's what I think it means to be fat. Right, there are some people who have a bigger frame, yes, and they're deemed to be clinically healthy. Right, they go to their doctor, their biomarkers are pretty stable and everything like that. And there's some people who look like me, they're shredded, they have low body fat percentage, and they have enlarged hearts. They're dealing with kidney failure. They're dealing, things like that, because maybe they're taking steroids, or they're taking a lot of protein and not drinking enough water. So just off a representation of how you look, that doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy, right? But let's not sugarcoat it, right? Because the fact of the matter is, being fat, being obese, we know just by looking at the data. And I don't talk about things that just like off assumption. If we're looking at the data, we're looking at the numbers, being fat is not healthy, right? There are so many other health conditions that are tied to having a high body fat percentage that is no mystery. We know that. Nobody, otherwise this would not be a topic of discussion. It wouldn't be a topic of discussion, fat shaming, if there wasn't something negatively that is rightfully so tied with being fat. Now, where it goes wrong is, we're talking about these trolls. The internet is a place where we know, regardless of what you're doing, you could be doing good, you could be doing bad, you could be doing better than the person talking crap, and it doesn't matter, you're gonna get trolled. That's just the way the internet works. People feel better about themselves when they're making their insecurities, seem diminished compared to the next person. We know that. So if you're taking what other people say on the internet, or even strangers in person, seriously, you got to do some internalizing for yourself, right? Because you can't be taking stuff that people are saying like that serious, and you should know that they don't know you, you don't know them. You shouldn't have any crazy reaction to what people are saying. I think people are more upset of the fact that, this lady who is a plus size model is making $45,000 a month, and the fact that she's plus size. Me personally, I do not think that being unhealthily fat should be glamorized. I don't think so. I think that is detrimental to society. People who are in a stage where they're very susceptible to things on the internet, and I'm talking more of like young people, like they see stuff, look at her, she's this, I don't have to conform to what other people are saying in order to be healthy. And it's like, no, objectively you need to conform to what is healthy if you want to be healthy. Now, if you're not interested in being healthy, being in shape, things like that, then sure, whatever floats your boat. But at at least let people make the decision based off what is objectively true. And objectively, we know to be a fact that being morbidly obese, getting to that stage of being obese is not healthy. But we're scared to talk about it. Number one, don't get me wrong. There's people who just talk about it and they have no constructive feedback, no constructive criticism to provide when they're calling someone out. Right? It's like, you're fat, that's it, now I feel better. Yo, you're fat, that money don't mean nothing because you're gonna be dead next year. And it's like, you're not trying to help. You're not trying to help. You're just trying to make your insignificance, or what's insignificant is like the things that you're doing in your life, but the insecurities that you have, that kind of rules your life, and you're like, I'm gonna make this person feel bad because I feel bad, right? People who genuinely are trying to help, they're going to think about what they're saying before they say it and say, I want to make sure that this person receives this thing that I'm saying in a way where they know I want to help. We're talking about the internet here. So clearly, on the internet, more often than not, you're not gonna find that kind of genuine come across if you're looking some way that's controversial or doing something that's not, doesn't meet the conformity of society, right? But that's a whole different story. I am going to go ahead and stand by and say, I do not think that it should be rewarded. And this is the way I'm going to talk about how she makes this money, so it's a little bit different, right? Anyway, I don't think that we should say, hey, be happy if you're obese, be happy with yourself, and just be okay with it. No, you should absolutely love yourself for who you are as a person, and that should include saying, I know what's best for me. I love myself, so I know what's best for me. I'm going to make sure I'm doing everything in my power to ensure I'm taking care of myself to the best of my ability. And what does that mean as well? That means, hey, I know if you're not aware of this, and is the number one stage to creating change is creating awareness. You need to be aware that you have a problem before you can actually search out logical and feasible solutions. If you're not aware that being fat, being obese, having an extremely high body fat percentage is unhealthy, then I would question, what society are you living in? But also, that's okay. Not everyone is aware of that. I'm gonna, the curse of knowledge. I've helped so many people with this. Is kind of like, I know a lot of people are aware of the fact, just based off of how they feel. They know that being obese, being heavy, is not beneficial for them, right? So, with that being said, love yourself, and love yourself enough to know when you're not doing what you're supposed to do for what the goal that you're trying to achieve. That's just a fact. And for trolls, it's like, if you're paying attention to trolls and you're not, like, you're just as bad as them. Or it depends on what they're trolling about, right? I'm not going to go out on a limb and say you're as bad as the trolls because you're not. Because you're taking what they say, seriously. But you really can't be taking what people say on the internet too seriously. Trust me, I've had my fair share of that. But the bottom line here is, right, fat shaming. Now, trying to scare people into compliance is not, it might work, but that's just not the best way to go about it. Like, you're fat, you're gonna die a horrible death, you're gonna get a heart attack, you're gonna suffer so bad before your heart stops pumping that blood to your brain, and you're gonna have enough time to realize, damn, all those years of eating those cheeseburgers, thinking that me drinking this liter of Coke and eating a tub of ice cream, getting the views on YouTube is all for the mukbang and all that stuff. Mukbang, I'm eating all that. The money. You're gonna have enough time to realize that was a stupid decision. No, I don't think that would. People are. I'm sure they're aware of that. That's not the best way to relay that type of information, right? It's like, genuinely, if you really care, you're gonna think about what you're saying before you say it, and understand the person who you're talking to and how they might receive that information. I want to know, you guys' opinion on this. What, as far as fat shaming, right? Fat shaming. Do you think that we should come together, people who don't believe in this acceptance of who you are is who you are, eat until you die, and promote that to other people? Do you believe that fat shaming is the most the objectively the best way to get people to change their behaviors. Like, keep it real. And if you don't, what do you think is the best way to have these conversations in a way where they're actually impactful, in the way that we can create change? Right, I've worked with thousands of people, of clients I've worked with, and if there's one thing I know, the reason why they're reaching out, because they know they don't like the state that they're in. They know they don't, and seeing how the transformation that they go through from being obese, being not being confident, having low energy levels, not looking like the way they look in the mirror, not even wanting to go out because they're like, oh, people are gonna look at me because I'm eating and I don't even want to hang out with my friends. Going from that to going to a confident person who has knowledge on the reason I'm eating this food is because XYZ. I understand why I'm eating this. I have confidence. I could go out. People are like, yo, what are you doing? What workouts are you doing? It's like, they feel good about themselves. Seeing that transformation, I clearly know that these people who are in a state of obesity you could try and convince yourself that you're happy being there. You're lying. I don't care what you say. You're lying. I don't care what you say. If you really take all the what's the word I'm looking for? All the, I don't know, but the characteristics of being obese, and you compare it to, and this is yourself, right? The characteristics that you have of being obese individual, and you only tie your entire identity to, I'm fat and I accept myself for that. And it's like, I want people to know that I'm confident in myself no matter what I look. No, I know you're gonna be lying if you say, yes, I prefer this, compared to, hey, I understand how I love myself so much. I understand that although it's not easy for me to move from here to here, I want to show myself. Forget what other people are thinking. I want to show myself that I care about myself so much that I'm going to be uncomfortable for a while, doing stuff that I'm not used to, eating the foods I'm not used to, working out, pushing myself to an intensity that I'm not used to for a certain extent, a period of time that I will get here. Like, come on, man, stop that. But let's go ahead and read this real quick. We're gonna wrap this video up in a second. I'm gonna read the full post that they made here. A plus-size model raking in raking in ample cash from her curves says internet trolls are the real butt of the joke. Steph Oshiri, I think that's her name, 28, claims she's making $45,000 a month modeling her natural shape on OnlyFans after quitting her job as a makeup artist. Man, I support the entrepreneurial journey, taking your, anyway, we'll get back to that. The Canadian model says she weighs 220 pounds and boasts 36 triple D breasts, a 55-inch bottom, and a 35-inch waist. She joined the site in 2020 and reportedly reeled in $2,000 to $3,000 a month, all without showing her face. Okay. Supply and demand. Obviously, there are people who really love to see these plus-size people, right? And obviously, supply and demand. There's a supply for it. There's a demand for it, and she's supplying to that demand. But ultimately, if we're thinking about, am I willing to forfeit my health for the almighty dollar? That's what it comes down to. You got to ask yourself that question. Clearly, there's a demand for it. Right? The trolls are not the ones who are paying. And maybe they are. I don't know. But there's people who are like, yo, keep doing this. We love this. We will put money in your pocket for this. And ultimately, that's what we have to understand. If you're a troll, if you're a hater, you're just one of the people you're not looking for something like that, right? That's not something that you like, or that's not your taste, that's not your cup of tea. That's fine, that's cool. Forget the consumer. Think about you as an individual. Is it worth it to compromise your health for the almighty dollar? Now, clearly she got enough money if she wanted to decide, hey, look, there's a good opportunity for me to make a lot of money very quickly. I'm gonna do that, and when I get in shape, when I get to a certain amount where I'm like, I'm gonna invest here, I'm gonna pay a personal trainer, I'm gonna get a dietitian, I'm gonna get the best of the best coaches, and I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life. And guess what? I'm about a couple $1 million richer. Hey, if she could do that, then I guess all power to you. it's just like, what are you willing to compromise? And if enough is never enough, it's just like, I need more. This is too easy of money for me to give up. I don't care if I get to a size where I'm just like I've totally let myself go. And that's where you got to understand what is really important to you, right? That's what you got to think about. Am I going to read the rest of this? However, she received negative comments as well, with people saying things like, one bully told her she was seconds away from a heart attack. I mean, unless you're a doctor, you wouldn't know that for sure, right? And then another said, well, look, her doctors must just love me because I keep them in business. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I can't lie, that's kind of funny. But we should be able to laugh at stuff like this. As her being the reader, if she knows, like, these people aren't the ones paying for my content, they don't know me, I don't know them, they probably got worse things going on in their life, they ain't making $45,000 a month. I doubt it, because they wouldn't have time to sit here and be writing comments on the internet about someone they don't know. I just don't think so, right? So if she's taking it that seriously, get off the internet, right? Spend less time reading the comments and stuff like that, and then when you get to a certain amount of money, then get in shape, get healthy. You have enough money to do that. You have enough money for a gym membership, whatever it is that you need to get in the best shape of your life. But anyway, the bottom line here is, there's many ways to get to an outcome, and shaming people into compliance is just not something that's gonna work, right? I think that's something that rarely works. Sure, there's some people who might just kind of read stuff after a while and just get fed up and say, hey, I need to do this, especially if they know it's something they should be doing anyway. It's just not likely. If they're realizing, look, this person is talking to me because they're trying to belittle me, the demeanor in which they're approaching this, obviously they don't have my best interests. They're just trolling me because they think that the way I look, the things I'm doing, it's funny, and that's basically it. It's not, hey, look, I know you're making a lot of money, but I really want you to think about what's important for you. Like, think about 5 years into doing this. I'm sure obviously you're eating to maintain, this plus size persona, and and it's making you the money. But think about, if you change nothing, if you go to your doctor right now and they're telling you, hey, if you continue down this road, it's not looking good for you, and the effects start to compound the older you get. Think about that. Right now you're young, you're 28, you think you got enough time until you don't. So think about that, and if you do need help, I have a lot of resources to be able to put you in that direction. And that's even that might be a strong approach, initially, right? That if the person isn't aware that they have a problem, they're like, what are you talking about? So just trying to educate people on things that are a problem that they don't think are a problem. Some people genuinely don't think that eating out every day, going to a fast food restaurant, is a big deal. They're like, I have to eat. We need food anyway, right? Some people aren't aware. They aren't aware that protein is 4 calories per gram, and protein and carbs are 4 calories per gram, and fat is 9 calories per gram. And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna fry everything I eat, and not understanding that oil is a fat, and you're not accounting for how much excess fat you're putting in your body when you're eating fried everything, right? So things like that, right? Just to make it simple. But man, if you one of the trolls on the internet, clearly you ain't got too much going on for yourself, because you wouldn't have time to be sitting down there and trolling everybody. You should be so busy focusing on improving your own flaws, improving the things that you struggle with, that you're not gonna have time to sit down and point out, someone else going through, struggles, especially if you're not trying to help. So, like, I just want to know, is it okay to talk about things like this? Now, me being a coach, in the position that I'm in, I have to. Like, these are conversations I have with all my clients when I'm doing corporate presentations, because Business Body Elite is a virtual wellness company. We provide resources to busy professionals, specifically the employees of corporations, and these issues are the most common, the most abundant, especially with working Americans specifically. So these are conversations that cannot be avoided. It's just something that has to be talked about. But I guess the manner in which these discussions are taking place make the biggest difference. You shouldn't be one of the people that's getting online talking how you talk for no good reason, just so you can hear yourself and feel good. Like, yeah, I told her she fat. I feel good now because although I'm broke, I have no money, my shoes are ripping, you know, I don't know the last time I actually ate a good meal because I don't have the money to do that. If that's the position you're in, the last thing you should be doing is getting on the internet talking about anything, right? The only thing you should be doing is looking for ways to put money in your pocket, get your health, get control of your life. That's it, right? That's the only thing you should be focused about. So you being the troll, if you're coming from the troll perspective, get your priorities in check. And if you're someone who is not in the best shape of your life, and once again, that's different for different people. The best shape of your life is different from the best shape of my life, right? It's like, if you walking, you know, up a flight of stairs puts you out of breath and you're like, man, I cannot breathe. An accomplishment for you is being able to walk up 5 flights of steps and being perfectly fine. You know, that doesn't mean having a 6-pack, being shredded. It's like I could walk up these steps and feel phenomenal. I feel like I didn't even break a sweat, right? So get it, and be careful with comparing, right? Be careful with that. But that's it for now. I just think that, you know, we shouldn't be okay with condoning behaviors that are not healthy and safe, and just so we make people feel comfortable. Absolutely not. I don't think that is a way for society to move forward, for us to grow, for us to be held accountable for our actions. That means anything that we do is like, hey, I can do anything and it should be accepted, right? There's things that I'm not even going to speak about that are people are fighting to make justifiable, and it's just it's insane to me. It's like, well, we are accepting everything, I want to be included in this thing as well. And there's people who, like I said, I'm not even going to speak about it. It's just like, you see what we're opening the doors to, because we want everybody to feel included, and that's not good. We need to think about what, as a society, like, and like I said, obviously there's things that it's a gray area where it's like, well, I think this is okay, but XYZ, right? And that's a totally different discussion. But the truth be told is, there are things that are just so clearly not helpful. They're not something that we should be promoting, and being unhealthy, being obese, having a high body fat percentage is just one of them. I don't think that's something that we should try and get everyone to conform to and be okay with. That's just it's not okay. That's it, right? But you know, number one, make a decision to become aware. If you feel like you're getting into the stage where you're becoming obese and your body is like, hey, I'm too lazy to get in shape, I'm just gonna want everyone to accept me for who I am. I don't think that's what your focus should be on. I think your focus should be on, I'm gonna be uncomfortable for a while, but I know this is something I need to do because I want to be around and I value my life. I value the things that I contribute to this world, and I think if I'm in better shape, I can do this to the best of my ability. So that's it for now. Health is wealth. Get money. Remember, it is always the warm up. I'll see you on the next video.